Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Parivakajara Sadasi Shimad His Divine Grace Sri Lesi Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Parivakajara Sadasi Shimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Guru Parampara Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dhama Ki Jai. Sadhu Sangha Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Go Premananda, Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana Timirandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kidamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sarvetam Savadutam Prijana Sehitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karana Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhana Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudhi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, 3rd chapter, Karma Yoga, text number 6. So, please repeat. Karmendriyāṇi saṁyamya āste manasā smaran indriyārthān vimūḍhātmā mithyā-ācāraḥ sa ucyate karmendriya saṁyamya āste manasā smaran indriyārthān vimūḍhātmā mithyā-ācāraḥ ucyate karmendriyāṇi saṁyamya āste manasā smaran indriyārthān vimūḍhātmā mithyā-ācāraḥ ucyate karmendriyāṇi saṁyamya āste manasā smaran indriyārthān vimūḍhātmā mithyā-ācāraḥ ucyate
karmendriyāṇi saṁyamya
ya āste manasā smaran
āste manasā smaran
indriyārthān vimūḍhātmā
indriyārthān
mithyā-ācāraḥ ucyate
mithyā-ācāraḥ ucyate
karma-indriyāṇi saṁyamya ya āste manasā smaran indriyārthān vimūḍhātmā mithyā-ācāraḥ ucyate
karmendriyāṇi saṁyamya ya āste manasā smaran indriyārthān vimūḍhātmā mithyā-ācāraḥ ucyate
karmendriyāṇi saṁyamya ya āste smaradam param indriyārthān vimūḍhātmā mithyā-ācāraḥ ucyate karmendriyāṇi saṁyamya ya āste manasā smaran indriyārthān vimūḍhātmā mithyā-ācāraḥ ucyate saṁyamya karma-indriyāṇi, the five working senses. Organs. Saṁyamya, controlling. Yaha, anyone who. Āste, remains. Manasā, by the mind. Smaran, thinking of. Indriya-arthān, sense objects. Vimūḍha, foolish. Ātmā, soul. Mithyā-ācāraḥ, pretender. Saha, he. Ucyate, is called. Translation, Srila Prabhupada. One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. Purport, Srila Prabhupada. There are many pretenders who refuse to work in Kṛṣṇa consciousness but make a show of meditation while actually dwelling within the mind upon sense enjoyment. Such pretenders may also speak on dry philosophy in order to bluff sophisticated followers, but according to this verse, they are the greatest cheaters. For sense enjoyment, one can act in any capacity of the social order. But if one follows the rules and regulations of his particular status, he can make gradual progress in purifying his existence. But he who makes a show of being a yogi while actually searching for the objects of the sense gratification must be called the greatest cheater, even though he sometimes speaks of philosophy. His knowledge has no value, because the effects of such a sinful man's knowledge are taken away by the illusory energy of the Lord. Such a pretender's mind is always impure, and therefore his show of yogic meditation has no value whatsoever. So, Mukam karochi vachalam, pangam laite grim yad kripatamam vande Sri Gurundinatarinam. Karmendriyāṇi saṁyamya ya āste manasā smaran indriyārthān vimūḍhātmā mithyā-ācāraḥ ucyate. One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. Yes. So we've seen examples of that. But this particularly means here, one who restrains senses of action. So in the purport, and I also read the summation of Vishwanath Chakravarti's purport to this verse. This is talking particularly about a sannyasi, somebody who is affecting renunciation, but within his mind he has a different calculation. He is searching to enjoy. He is using his status as a sannyasi to get what? Dhanam, janam, sundarim. Dhana means money. Janam means social status, followers. And then sundarim, sex life of some kind. We've seen examples of this. No need to bring them up. So this, you see, is greatest pretender. Now, but that person is deliberately, that person is deliberately using the dress of sannyas or renunciation as a means to gain sense enjoyment. So that person must be distinguished from somebody who is practicing renunciation, but because of previous conditioning, he may be still agitated by material desires. But his intention is to overcome that by meditation upon Kṛṣṇa, by getting the higher taste. So it is all a matter of intention. The first person is deliberately, or he's given up the endeavor to control the senses, and he is just trying to satisfy the senses. And he may have initially even taken a position of renunciation, an ashram of renunciation. That is a bit like Ravana, is it not? Ravana, when he wanted to snatch away Sita, he dressed as what? Sannyasi. He had no intention of being a sannyasi. He thought, I'll play upon Sita's soft heart. So Sita is Swarup Shakti Ram, of course. It is in the Shastra that he never actually captured Sita. He took away an illusory form of Sita. Sita was tested in the fire after Ram captured her back. But this is the illusory form of Sita, is the illusory form of material enjoyment, of the material energy. People come to the material energy and they're deluded, as it says here, looking for the sense objects, and they get a deluded sense of enjoyment. They never actually get Sita. Sita is Swarup Shakti, is Radharani, expansion for Manusha Leela Ram. So they never really enjoy, they just get an illusory idea. So, but this is dishonest, a pretender. You see that? Mithyā-ācāraḥ, a pretender. So that is disgraceful, right? Ravana is disgraceful, dressing as a sannyasi, and he thought, oh, I must get Sita. But he just got illusion. And then he couldn't enjoy, right? He took Sita to Lanka, and he couldn't touch her. He couldn't enjoy. So this is all very philosophically instructive. You can't really enjoy the material energy because we are spiritual beings, we are spirit souls. So we may have an attempt to enjoy, but we never really get any satisfaction. We can't really touch the material energy because we are spiritual beings. Whether we are searching for Kṛṣṇa or we're searching for the material enjoyment, we still remain spiritual beings. So we never enjoy. But the pretender, he is in this mistaken and disgraceful position of being dishonest, right? As they say, honesty is the best policy. So the honesty has to start with oneself. right? One has to assess oneself and assess one's position. Spiritual masters, sadhus, experienced devotees, we should, like Arjuna did with Kṛṣṇa, surrender to them and get guidance, how we can advance from the position we are in. We shouldn't just falsely adopt positions for which we are not yet qualified. So therefore, get married, have children, and be an honest householder, and bring up the family in Krishna consciousness. But, you see, if this pretender, and we've seen this in our experience, that if people, this kind of pretense, oh, I'm a sannyasi, but inside I'm chewed up, trying to get material energy, this ends up in perversion and power trips and cruelty and mental dysfunction because of dishonesty. So the karmic reaction of being a pretender, as Prabhupada says in the Purport, he loses his knowledge. Like there is the miscreant, the third miscreant, mithyā-ācāraḥ. He may have some knowledge, but the fruit or the real deep understanding of that knowledge is stolen by illusion. So he's in a confused state. And therefore, in frustration and confusion, anger arises. This is in the Bhagavatam. This is part of the material energy. After frustration, anger comes. So that anger may be expressed externally or internally. It may become suicidal or self-destructive, take drugs, or misuse people who are his misfortunate followers. And this all coming down to the root of dishonesty. So we have to be honest with ourselves and work from the position, because we have no alternative. We all have to work from the position we are in anyway. So we may as well have an honest perception of our position. And then we can chant Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And what is that sloka? Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitamam pishavevam buddho kripayatava pankaja stiti dule sadishim vichintaya. Oh, son of Nanda Maharaj, Kṛṣṇa, this is Lord Chaitanya, of course, you know. I am your fallen servant. I've fallen in this material world. You try to pick me up. You pick me up and place me as an atom of dust on your lotus feet. So this is the special power of bhakti, that we appeal to Kṛṣṇa. The karma yogi, the jnana yogi, the astanga yogi, they are very much concerned with their own efforts. But the bhakti yogi knows the secret, to enlist Kṛṣṇa in his help, to help him. And that is the power of bhakti, and that is the state of bhakti, because bhakti, Kṛṣṇa is the absolute. He is independent, not dependent on anyone. But we are the dependent entity. We are Aṅsa of Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa is absolute. That means completely independent, self-sustaining, his own cause. But we are not. We are caused by Kṛṣṇa, we are part of Kṛṣṇa, we're dependent upon Kṛṣṇa. So that dependence should be understood and used in the period of sadhana, from a position of honesty. Because Kṛṣṇa is within the heart. He knows if you're a pretender, and he knows if you're honest. And if you're a pretender, will you get his mercy? Well, yes, but it might be in a difficult form. It might be in the form of punishment, or, as they say, learning the hard way, right? You know? It's better to learn the easy way. from the Shastra than learn the hard way. Like a father says to his son, don't drive your bicycle so crazy and over the roary, it'll slip. Oh no, I can do it, Daddy. Okay, learn the hard way. The son comes back, I fell off the bicycle, look at my knee, it's all cut. Oh, Mummy, put a plaster. So you can learn the hard way or you can learn the good way. So honesty is the best policy, everyone knows, right? Is there a Hindi equivalent? Honesty is the best policy? Yeah, anyway, so this is the point. Kṛṣṇa knows everything, Kṛṣṇa is within the heart. But we should understand, earlier we saw in the second chapter that the yogi, he is equipoised and he's like an ocean. So his sense desires are like rivers. But if you remember, the yogi is the person, sense desires come because he has the material body, but he doesn't strive to satisfy them. And Kṛṣṇa says that person can attain real peace, not the person who strives to satisfy those desires. So, raso vrajam raso pyasya. How to get that strength of mind so that when sense desires come, we don't go to chase them like the pretender or the fallen person. And that is, Bhaktivinoda Thakur calls that bhajan bal, the strength of bhajan. Bal means shakti, or strength, like Balaram is Baladev, strong. So bhajan bal is developed by a devotee by his bhajan, his regulated chanting, chanting of mantra 3 times a day, regulative principles, by studying the Shastra. He gets the higher taste. And ultimately, like we gave a class a few weeks ago, the rasovajam rasopyasya in perfection means that we're remembering the Leela of Kṛṣṇa. The realization of Kṛṣṇa, the result of sadhana, is Nam Rupa Guna Leela. So we have to study Kṛṣṇa in that way. We have to study the name of Kṛṣṇa, the tattva of the name of Kṛṣṇa. Then we have to smaranam, remember the form of Kṛṣṇa. Then the guna, the qualities of Kṛṣṇa, 64 are given in the Nectar of Devotion with an explanation, Rupa Goswami. And then we have Ushwala Nilamani, that gives the nature of the conjugal relations with Kṛṣṇa. Sangha is part of Leela. So we should, this is Raganuga Smaranam, that we understand what is the mood of the Dasya Bhav. How do the servants of Kṛṣṇa, how do they feel? They're so happy, preparing his dress, his dhoti, his polishing his flute, bringing him foodstuffs, taking care of his needs. They're very happy. How that? What are the cowherd boys? What is Sridham's mood? What is Madhu Mangal's mood? So then, what is the mood of Nanda and Yashoda and Nanda Baba and Rohini? We can look at the spiritual world in the terms of rasa. And then what is the mood of the gopis? What is the mood of the manjaris? What is the mood of the āste kāla lila? So when this meditation is there in the mind, then this material stimulation, because we have a body, is easy to overcome, because one has a strong center. This is bhajan bhal. So we should understand that. Therefore we read that sloka, chapter 33, verse 39, that one who listens or meditates or hears about the pastimes of the gopis with Kṛṣṇa in the Ras Leela, then the desire for material enjoyment dissipates. It goes. This is the antidote. So the antidote for what the pretender has fallen into is the Leela of Kṛṣṇa, as we gave a big explanation a few classes ago. We should always remember that. But the root of that must be sincerity, right? As it says, Lord Chaitanya, Linchananda has opened the marketplace of the holy name. How can I get the holy name? What is the price? I want to purchase. You can get the holy name by sincerity, lolam, desire. So that is the only thing. And that is what we are. We're desiring entities. We're vibhinansa. We have our independent desire. But we're not meant to, like the pretender, to dress up as a renunciate and then try to enjoy the material energy. We should be sincere in our desire. Rishikesha rishikena sevanam bhakti ucyate. Sava upari vinir muktam tatvaratrena niyamalam. That we should understand through philosophical understanding, oh, I'm not this material body. Then we can distance ourselves. What am I? Mama angsa jiva loke, jiva bhuta sana. I'm a spirit soul. So this is external. The agitation of the senses is external. Once we have this in mind, then we can become acharya. This is, it's called vritti, I think. In the yoga literature, I remember reading long back, it says that when you have a sense desire, you should send back what you see. Say you see a beautiful girl. Oh, she's so beautiful. But then you should think, what is this? This is illusion. This is just a bag of stew, bones and pus, urine. And this will destroy my bhajan bal. So you send an opposite wave back, a wave of sense desire, and women can do this with men, of course. You should think, no, I have my husband. My dharma is to be faithful to my husband. I should not indulge in these thoughts. So you have to send, this is Shankaracharya's, in the yoga literature, you send back a reverse wave, like they have noise cancellation earphones, right? They cancel the external sound. So you have a cancellation effect. Oh, I'd like to eat 10 rasgulla. No, you'll become diabetic. You have to send, this will destroy you. So tapasya is the wealth of the Brahmins, the devotees, right? Tapa, Lord Brahma. So this is very important. All these things are there, and we should absorb them into our understanding. But the positive aspect is to always remember Kṛṣṇa and to always have our goal in mind, that I have this human body, so let me become perfect in Prem Bhav. We should not think, oh, that is just for, I've said this many times, that is just for Prahlad Maharaj, or Dhruva can attain perfection, or Jad Bharat, or the gopis, or the personified Vedas. No, that perfection is available to us. Why? First point, because of the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Right? Namo Mahabhadanyaya Kṛṣṇa Prema Pradayate. So that is what we should desire. And then, if we take shelter in that way, and we glorify Kṛṣṇa in that way, Paramaunimaccharanam Satam, the second verse of the Bhagavatam, we can take shelter of Kṛṣṇa and we can glorify Kṛṣṇa if we're devoid of this envy. You see, this pretender, he's trying to be Kṛṣṇa. Oh, I want wealth, I want to enjoy. He wants to be an independent enjoyer. But that is not his constitutional nature. Dharma means the intrinsic inherent constitutional nature of the soul. So the soul is an enjoyer, but in relationship to Kṛṣṇa, because he is angsa of Kṛṣṇa, he's part and parcel of Kṛṣṇa. So how do we start that relationship? By the understanding aham sarvasya prabhavo, jamadya shyata. I am the emanation of Kṛṣṇa. So thankfully I should offer my glorification of Kṛṣṇa, my bhajan, my upasana. Kṛṣṇa is like in the beginning of the Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We have come from the Supreme Lord. He has created us. So we should be very thankful, right? We could not exist if He had not created us. We might not have the chance of eternal life. But we have eternal life, so now He's inviting us. All we have to do is use our desire correctly. So that means sadhusanga. Sadhusanga sava shastroi salavamata sadhusanga sava siddhyoy. So this kind of pretender is to be avoided. We should always think, is this Ram or Ravana whom I'm speaking to? Is this Duryodhana or is this Yudhisthira Maharaj? Right? We should always evaluate our association. The neophyte has problems in this way. He can't discriminate who's devotee, who's not, he's Kanishthadikari. The solution is to study the Shastra, to take shelter of the bona fide Guru, to realize the Madhyamadikari, which is actually the starting platform of Vaishnavism. He sees this person is demon, upeksha, avoid. These people are devotees, I'll make friendship. Oh, this is the Supreme Lord, I'll worship. So the devotee, he sees this. The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord's devotees, the innocent is number 4. Balisha, it means innocent people. They don't know about Kṛṣṇa very much. They have some traditional idea, but they like Kṛṣṇa. They're not demonically atheistic or rakshasa bhav. So then you give mercy to them, kripa. But the rakshasa, the demon, they are fixed demon, and this is it. Kamsa, right? Just like in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, right? Kali appears as a Kshatriya. Oh, very nice. So I'm going to teach the people. But actually, we see nowadays across the world, the governments are full of rakshasas. They just take the tax money and start wars and give fake vaccines and kill people willy-nilly. They have no responsibility. Their enjoyment is greed and control and killing people. They are demoniac. So we should avoid those people. They are on the path to destruction, like Ravana. We talked about Ravana. So when Ravana was dying there, he lost his head, so to speak. So Ram sent Lakshman. He said, Lakshman, go and talk to Ram. Why? Because he's a very learned man in the Vedas. Ravana wrote a commentary on the Vedas. Did you know that? I heard that. But nobody's reading it or translating it. Might be interesting. But, so okay, Lakshman, okay, ask him what is the best of knowledge. So Lakshman went to Ravana, and he said, I've been sent by Ram, please educate me, what's the best of knowledge? He said, well, look at me now, I'm destroyed. The best of knowledge is that when you can do something good, give charity, some kindness, some austerity, Ekadashi comes, some good opportunity to do good thing, then do it straight away. But if there's something inauspicious or bad, delay that, put it off, try to stop it. Says, look, I did the opposite. I did the bad thing immediately, and I never took the good chance when it came. I put that off. I said, oh. So Lakshman said, well, give me an example. Said, well, the bad thing was to try and snatch Sita from Ram in the forest. I didn't hesitate. I took that chance immediately when Ram was gone from the ashram. So that has destroyed me, because I did the bad thing immediately. And when Ram came to the opposite side at Rameshwaram, and Bibhishan went over there, and he said, Ram, I can't follow Ravana. I have to join your party, or I have to surrender unto you. You do whatever you want with me. Then I should have understood, yeah, Ram is here. My destruction is assured. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's not an ordinary person. He seems to be very powerful. I should have surrendered. I should have done the good thing immediately, but I didn't. I didn't do the good thing and surrender to Ram like my brother Bibhishan. I made a big fight. So I did the bad thing immediately, and the I put off, and now I'm destroyed. So that's what Lakshman, thank you. I'll do the good thing immediately, and any bad, inauspicious thing, if I become angry or some words come up, or some, I put that off later. I'll do it later. Because time can mend things. So these are all things. Yes, we're in the material world and it's difficult. And the Maya energy is there, checking us. It's just like Nityananda, when he was going on the Navadvip Mahatmya, Bhakti Vinod Thakur's book, he went to Simantadvip. And Mayadevi, that's the place of the 9 islands, and Mayadeva approached Nityananda and said, paid obeisances, said, I'm Mayadevi, and please Nityananda Prabhu, you please, I'm very troubled at heart. The Vaishnavas, they always disparage me. They always speak badly of me because I'm Maya and I'm attracting them to what Nityananda said. No, don't be discouraged. Your job is to test the devotees in the fire of renunciation. You are you are coming forward and testing the devotees. And when the devotee overcomes that test, he becomes more advanced. So then Nityananda put Simanta and said, don't worry, you are a great Vaishnavi. Your job is to test and train the devotees, teach them the right path so that they achieve their goal through renunciation. So they don't become mithyā-ācāraḥ, mithyā-ācāraḥ, pretenders. So they have to develop sincerity to get out of this. So then Mayadevi, she was very pleased. Of course this is Leela, this is Navadvip Mahatmya. Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he sat down and just wrote this book. It's an incredible book. So these are educational, and we can understand that very nicely. Though then Kṛṣṇa explains, okay, instead of, so the whole point is that we have to become sincere. And we can either learn the easy way or we learn the hard way. Because sometimes suffering is the mother of renunciation. But suffering may give you renunciation, but the best way to get renunciation, jnana and vairag, is through bhakti, through shastra. There's one verse in the Bhagavatam, what is it? Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Jnanati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Cha Yad Ahoitikam. That one who performs bhakti to Vasudeva, Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga to Vasudeva, then he causelessly acquires Jnana and Vairag. Jnana in that context means perception of the absolute truth by bhakti. Just like it said, aham sarvasya prabha iti matva bhajanti mam buddha bhava samam vada. One who understands that Kṛṣṇa is the source, this is the beginning understanding of the absolute truth. He's janmadi ashyata. He's the source of everything. Vasudeva savamiti. That's the root of knowledge for the sadhaka. So Jnana, he gets that realization, as it says in the Shikshastakam. What is that? Vidya vadu jivanam. Right? Once you become purified in mind and the material agitation becomes less, then you get this spiritual realization. Swayameva spuryada. Kṛṣṇa reveals himself to the sadhaka. So that means you start to realize the truth of Kṛṣṇa consciousness in your heart. You start to realize Kṛṣṇa. And then it's easy to remember Kṛṣṇa's name, form, quality and pastime. Because then you can chant in the mood of upasana. That means without envy. We can't worship Kṛṣṇa if we have envy, if we want to be Kṛṣṇa. So the sadhaka, he gets rid of envy by understanding, I am the creation of Kṛṣṇa. He has given me existence eternally. And I am part of Kṛṣṇa. I am angsa of Kṛṣṇa. So this is a madness. So that is Jnana, perception of the absolute truth through philosophical understanding. And then Vairag. Vairag means, in this context, it means detachment from fruitive desire. In the material world, like the pretender, he wants to get something from his activity. Even he's ready to dress as a sannyasi to get money, power, position, wealth. I've got followers. I've got more disciples than you. Did you know? So he's ready to do anything, but the devotee is not looking for his own advantage. Because he's realizing Kṛṣṇa, he's losing this fruitive desire. He's thinking, I'll do everything, manmana bhavamad bhakto majjaji. Everything is my offering to Kṛṣṇa. He is the yogya parush, right? What is that? Savaloka mareshwaram. What is that? Suridam savabhutanam. Bhuktaram yogya tapasam. He's the enjoyer. So later on in chapter 4, all these different types of yogyas are there. The yogya of charity, of breathing, of meditation, study of Shastra. All these yogyas are there. So they're all offered to Kṛṣṇa. Like Narottam. Sri Rupa Manjari Pada. I offer to Rupa Goswami, the sadhu, all my yogya, all my vrat, everything. I give it all to him. So that's Vairag. Being inspired not for the fruit, but rather to be in the mood of worship, yogya. So, in Vrindavan, however, we are discussing, it is said in the Gita Mahatmya, it says that in Vrindavan, Bhakti Devi, her children are asleep. They're lying down, resting. What does that mean? It means that in Vrindavan, in the liberated Golok Vrindavan, or in the direct Leela of Kṛṣṇa, the children of Bhakti are Jnana and Vairag. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga, Jnaniti Yasu Vairagyam. They are the children. But in Vrindavan, Jnana is resting and Vairag is resting. What does that mean? in Vrindavan. That means in Goloka, in the liberated condition, in Vastu Siddhi, where you have no material body, and your Swarup Siddhi is there. Muktir hitavan yata rupam sarupena avavashtiti. What is liberation from all this agitation? It means to be in your Swarup. So in Golok Vrindavan, people have not, they're beyond the material, they have no material body. So they don't have to practice the gathering of jnana and tapasya and vairag, because it's natural. That's the natural condition. They're seeing Kṛṣṇa face to face. They are in Vrindavan. There's Kṛṣṇa, son of Nanda. He's the local Nayaka. He's the local hero. I see Kṛṣṇa. They don't have to study the Shastra. They don't have to get out the book. Think, how many qualities of Kṛṣṇa? 64? What? No. They don't have to follow tapasya. Oh, I have to get up for Mangalarti, chant my rounds in the Brahma Muhurta. No, they don't have to do that. They already are vairagis. They're already unattached. Everyone in Vrindavan is unselfish, servant of the Supreme. In the material world, we're selfish servants of the senses. So that is the reverse. So in Golok, in the Leela of Kṛṣṇa, even in Gokul, the Brishbasis, they know Kṛṣṇa better than anyone. But they're not studying the Shastra because they're sitting next to Kṛṣṇa on the bank of the Jamuna. They're dancing with Kṛṣṇa in the moonlight. They don't have to read the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam is about them. So, and Vairag, because they're in Prem Bhav, they are just want to give everything to everyone. They're in the land of supreme opulence. They're in Goloka. There's no need or anything. They're completely ātmā. They're situated within their Swarup. Their Prem is manifesting their Swarup. So Bhakti, the children of Bhakti Devi, are Jnana and Vairag. They are taking rest in Goloka. But we have to practice that. And that is based, like I said at the beginning, it is all a matter of choice. And so to strengthen that choice, we need the sadhu sangha, the good spiritual master, the sadhus, the shastra, jnana. Like it says at the beginning of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, what does it say? Siddhanta Buliya Jeev. Right? If you don't study Siddhanta, you'll have problems. There's so much discussion about Siddhanta. If you don't do that, you'll be confused. No, it's a good thing because it strengthens the mind. And then who should we hear from? Who should we listen? Dharmasya tattva nihitam guhayam mahādyena katāsvapanta. The absolute truth is manifest in the heart of the sadhu, the uttamadhikara, the mahajan. So therefore all the great commentators, Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Swamis, they gave so much elucidation. We have to take shelter of that. And we get jnana, bhakti jnana in that way. We get a vision of Kṛṣṇa in that way. And then the material agitation is externalized. It's not good enough just to think, I'm not the body. The real business is, okay, I'm not the body, I'm a spirit soul. Now what is my activity? You see, at the beginning of this chapter, Arjuna said, oh, you're talking about knowledge, but why? And then you're telling me to engage in this ghastly warfare. Why do you do that if you think intelligence is better than fruitive work, right? So at the beginning of the second chapter, Arjuna was confused. He surrendered to Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa gave him Sankhya Yoga, knowledge. You're not the body or the soul. The body is temporary, the soul is eternal, so on. And then he says, no, you have to do your service. You have to become equipoised, and you have to do your duty. So this chapter starts with that question. If I'm not the body, then why do I have to do this ghastly work? Shouldn't I become a renunciant? Huh? Shouldn't I just give up material activities? Shouldn't I just become in a cave, eating chickpeas? I don't know if you can get them in the cave. But why should I have to fight? Because Arjuna, that was Arjuna's big thing. I don't want to do this. But now you're telling me I'm not the body, but I still have to fight. So if I'm not the body, why do I have to do all this bodily fighting? So then, right? Why do I have to do this material duty? My intelligence is bewildered by your equivocal instructions. That equal means confusing. Therefore, please tell me decisively which will be most beneficial. Which? Knowledge or acting in Kṛṣṇa consciousness? Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa said, O sinless Arjuna, I have already explained there are two classes of men who try to realize the self. Some are inclined to understand by empirical philosophical speculation, the jnanis, and others by devotional service, bhakti. And then Kṛṣṇa says, he gives that introduction, there is the jnana path and the bhakti path. Not by merely abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction, nor by renunciation alone can one achieve perfection. So he's saying you can't do it. Why? And then he gives a very explanation. Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired from the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. If you're in a cave, you still have to look after yourself. You have to still go begging. You have to look for chickpeas. You have to wash yourself. You can't get to a position where you're doing nothing. Now you may simplify your life, that's good, and become a jnani and do tapasya. But you always have to do some activity because you're in the material world. Right? And then the next verse, one who restrains the senses of action but whose mind dwells on the sense or certainly deludes himself is called the pretender. So if you're in a cave thinking about sex life, you're not going to make much, advancement. Let's be frank, right? Better come out of the cave, find a good wife and, act in that way. And have nice chapatis. And then Kṛṣṇa says, the next verse, on the other hand, a sincere person, Kṛṣṇa says the same thing, tries to control the active senses by the mind, right, we're saying, become that ocean, become equipoised, and begins karma yoga. That means doing your material activities and offering in Kṛṣṇa consciousness without attachment. Kṛṣṇa said earlier, remember, do thou fight for the sake of fighting without considering loss or victory, gain or loss. He's doing it as yogya. Manmana bhava mad bhakto mad yaji. Do everything, your material activities that you have to pursue, do them as an offering. Perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. Right? That's what Arjuna wanted to do at the beginning, right? Oh, I don't want to fight, Kṛṣṇa. I want to leave the battlefield. I shall not fight. One cannot, and this is a killer point. Kṛṣṇa is very intelligent. One cannot even maintain one's... I'm joking. You all know that anyway. One cannot even maintain... He learned all this knowledge from Sandipani Muni when he was a young boy. And Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. That's why he's intelligent. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. Right? You have to go to the toilet even if you don't want to. To put it simply like that. Right? And then... this is the point. This is the yogya point, right? Work, right? Yogyata kamano nyatra lokoyam kama bandhana tad ātmā karma kuntaya mukta sangha samācāraḥ. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, bringing up his mother, softening his heart, perform your prescribed duties for his, Vishnu's satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage. So this section, and then Kṛṣṇa goes on in the beginning of creation, Lord of all creatures sent forth, generations, men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu. So he didn't just create everything, but he created sacrifice and blessed them by saying, be thou happy by this yogī sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. So he's giving Arjuna, don't run away from the battlefield, do your duty, but in knowledge. And if you just think, knowledge, I'm the body, I'm not the body, that is not complete. You are Angsa of Kṛṣṇa, so you have to maintain the body, even if it's in a renounced state. But do that maintenance, do your worldly duties that will come upon you, do them as a yajna, offering to Vishnu. And that means you're developing seva bhav. You're serving the Supreme through your material duties. And that seva bhav will take you to Golok Vrindavan. That seva bhav will take you to the Leela of Kṛṣṇa. In the material world, everyone is doing seva bhav to me. In the spiritual world, everyone has seva bhav externally to Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa's devotees, Narayan, Lakshmi, so on and so forth. So, we are in the material world. How to, we pray to Kṛṣṇa, I'm fallen down, Kṛṣṇa. And we sing the bhajans of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, right? Oh hey Vaishnava Thakura. These prayers, they are full of bhakti bhav. So by learning to sing them and chant them, it wakes up the bhakti bhav, the seva bhav that we have in our heart, right? So we go to Kṛṣṇa, we say, pick me up, but I'm going to do my sadhana also. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. So thank you all very much. Jai Shri Kṛṣṇa. See you next Friday. Oh, do you have a question?
You mentioned that, is there any equivalent of honesty is the best policy?
Is there any Hindi or Bengali?
It's satyameva jayate.
Satyameva, truth is always victorious. Satyam eva vijayate. I've heard that before, yeah. Truth is always, it's not exactly the same. But I see what you mean. It's definitely related, yeah. Like Prabhupada on the Back to Godhead said, where there is light, there is no darkness, But if you want to go into the shadows, if you don't want to be truthful, where is, in the shadows, that's where the cockroaches are, That's where the snakes are. Be very careful, right? Well, that's even earlier, right? What is day for the devotee is night for the materialist. What is night for the materialist is day for the devotee, right? The day thing, I'm getting up for Mangalarti, I'm going to chant my rounds. I chant nicely at Mangalarti. The materialist is, I'll never drink again. So, we have to take advice from the great acharyas, how to perform bhakti, right? And we have to strive. But if we have problem, don't worry. The intention is the perfection. You understand? The intention leads to perfection. This verse that we had today, number 6, is the person who's lost his intention. So Krishna is merciful, Lord Chaitanya is merciful, so they'll learn the hard way. like Ravana, right? Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, they learnt the hard way. Then Jaya and Vijay, they became Jaya and Vijay. They learnt the medium hard way then, because Lord Chaitanya gave them mercy, right? And then how did they purify themselves after all the things? Lord Chaitanya, or was it Nityananda, said, build a bathing ghat, Jagai Madai Ghat in Navadvip. And then they used to go there, and when the people were taking bath in the Jamuna, the Ganga, they would look after their things, that the monkeys didn't steal their shoes or something. They wouldn't. So they purified themselves by serving the devotees. Right. That's another thing. Okay, thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada Sadhu Sangha ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Thank you all very much for your kind attention. Hope to see you again.